if I told you that the only reason you struggle with anything in your life, from the income that you make, your relationships, to your health, to your ability to rest, is actually because of just one thing: fight or flight responses stored in your body at a cellular level. And most people think change happens in the mind. Subconscious reprogramming, reframing beliefs, affirmations. Or they think it happens in the nervous system, somatic work, polyvagal theory, regulation techniques. And don't get me wrong, those things do help, but they're incomplete. And it's because your body has allergic and addicted responses to literally everything: success, struggle, money, rest, visibility, peace. When you're allergic to something, your body rejects it, even if your mind really wants it. And when you're addicted to something, your body craves it, even if your mind knows it's destructive. And these responses aren't just stored in the brain. They're not just in your nervous system. They're in every single cell of your body. And until you reprogram those cellular responses, you will keep recreating the same patterns over and over, no matter how much mindset stuff you do, or no matter how regulated you feel. Any non-ideal pattern, from overwhelm to frustration to burnout, not able to sleep at night, or sales goals falling short, those are actually addictions in the body. So let me show you what I mean by this, and then I'll actually walk you through the fastest way to shift these patterns using what's called the Cellular Alignment Technique. So let's break down where these allergic and addicted responses actually live in your body. Most people think it's the subconscious, your mental or neural patterns, the beliefs, the stories, the programming stored in your brain and your nervous system. But that's only part of it. The real truth is that every cell in your body stores fight or flight responses. Your liver, your heart, your kidneys, your skin, your elbow, literally like every organ, every tissue, every piece of you. And I know it sounds wild, but there's actually evidence for this. So there's this interesting book called The Heart Code, and he talks about in there that there's these recipients from, or donors that give their organs and things, and then these recipients take on these memories or these even like food desires and memories and crazy stuff from. It's a fascinating story where like someone will have a donated kidney and then all of a sudden they want to paint pictures, and they found that the donor was like this artist. Or someone had a liver transplant and all of a sudden they wanted to eat chicken and they were a vegetarian, and they found that the donor was like ate KFC chicken like every single freaking day. So it's like interesting because these are not just subconscious things. It had to be memory stored in an organ, which is made up of cells, that was transferred from one person to another. And we also have very cool ways to actually measure it using kinesiology. And I'll go into that here in a little bit as well. But it's fascinating to see how the body reacts to literally everything. And it can be based upon fight-flight responses. And so the goal is to get all parts of you into a place of alignment so that you're not pushing away your goal or pulling something in that's not ideal. So if memory isn't just in the brain, it's in the cells, then what does that actually mean for transformation and goal setting and attaining? Well, here's what most people miss is that every cell in your body has responses to ideas, thoughts, feelings, and not just in your nervous system. It's literally every single cell. And those responses can be measured through kinesiology. So you can literally test whether your body's saying a yes or a no at a cellular level, kind of like a lie detector test. And here's the key: your body can have an allergic response or an addicted response to literally anything, from goals to financial levels to certain relationships to physical ailments. And the whole point is, can we get all of our body into a place of consistent choice? In the fight-flight response, you lose your choice. And you have part of your organs choosing for you, or these cellular memories choosing, which are compulsions. And no one likes to be told or forced to do anything, which is why we want to have full choice. And it's not just a logical thing or a nervous system thing. It's an entire physiological and full body choice. So when you're allergic to something, your body rejects it, even if your mind wants it. And when you're addicted to something, your body craves it, even if your mind knows it's destructive. And this creates that push-pull, that internal conflict where you're working towards something, but your body is fighting you every step of the way. And the goal of cellular alignment is to get every single part of your body into a state of choice. No more push-pulls, no more allergic or addicted responses, no more fight-flights, just full conscious choice. This goes beyond root causal removal or trapped emotions. It goes beyond nervous system reprogramming. We are reprogramming every cell to operate from choice instead of compulsion. So how do we actually shift these cellular responses? Well, that's where the cellular alignment technique comes in. And this all started with my wife with a gluten allergy. This was about 6 years ago, and I had been doing a lot of different techniques. At this point in my life, I'd invested over $500,000 in different things and techniques, been through like 600 processes at the time. Now I've invested over $1 million in different things. And I found that at that moment, my wife was struggling with this gluten allergy. And I had tried all these different techniques that were supposed to help with getting over her food allergy, but it would only last for like a day or an hour, and then the symptoms would come back. I literally just had a dream in the middle of the night, and it was really cool because I don't dream too often, but when it does, it's like inspiration struck. Woohoo, thank you. And it was one of those moments where I had this idea in the middle of the night that said, okay, so the only reason my wife would suffer with a gluten allergy is because some part of her body at a cellular level is addicted to the struggle and allergic to what she wants. So addicted to the symptoms and allergic to what she wants. And if I can get all parts of her cells in a place of alignment and choice, symptoms will go away. So I was like, this is cool. Like, that defies all the things I've been taught of what about the root cause and what about the proteins that are missing and what about the generational stuff that's been affecting her. And everything that I was taught was challenged this moment. So in the morning, I woke up and I had this idea to compile about 10 different things that kind of worked here and there into a systematic structure, which we then did. And in the middle of it, like, by the time we were done, she looks at me and she's like, hey, Tyler, I want some toast. And then she wanted pizza and just started eating gluten and no reactions. And I was like, well, this is cool. So then we tried it on some other things, and we tried it on people who had some really severe allergic responses. So I did it with money next, and I worked on myself, and I did this alignment, and it's very word specific. And so I did it on, I have people reach out to me who pay in full for my services that I haven't marketed to. Because I was marketing and I was getting some people, but I had to market. And so part of me was addicted to this feeling that I had to work it really hard. I had to push it. If I didn't earn it, then I wouldn't get it. And I was allergic to the idea that it could just happen and I didn't have to work it as hard. Within 24 hours of aligning, I had 4 people reach out on weird platforms that turned into like $8,000 in different sales. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like, this is placebo or something's up here. Or there's something to this. And so I kept working on it. So after that, I started doing some really cool things. And then the final piece was this guy named Craig. And he had a cardiac arrest where because of his stress response, it shut him down for 5 years. He had a multi-six-figure company, and he couldn't function for more than 4 hours a day. If he would walk and look left or right, he'd fall over. So he had some severe things going on where he had to wear sunglasses and earplugs. His wife was a master practitioner over 20 years. They tried everything from doctors to, literally everything. And the philosophy was this, is that the only reason he would struggle with that is if some part of him at a cellular level is addicted to the struggle or the symptoms and allergic to what he wants. Period. That's it. And if he can get into a state of alignment where all parts of him are on board, then it's a choice. And now it goes away. So we did an alignment. And sure enough, he called me back about 4 days later, and he just burst into tears. And he's like, Tyler, you're not going to believe this, but I don't wear my sunglasses anymore, no earplugs. I can go on walks with my wife. I can look to the left and right, and I don't fall over. I have got my life back. And through this whole journey, that's when it hit me. Like, we are going beyond the nervous system. This is not just about changing your state. It's about changing your entire identity at a cellular level and getting rid of the fight-flight responses, the allergic reaction and the addicted reaction. And that's what the cellular alignment technique does. So let me break down exactly how this process works and why it's so effective. Okay, the cellular alignment technique has 3 core components: triggering, tapping, breathing. All together, and how you flow it matters, and the exact amount matters. So together, they identify and reprogram these fight-flight responses that are stored in your cells. So I'm going to walk you through each one, why it works, and what I'm about to show you, like I said, is a compilation of a lot of different processes. So first, let's talk about the triggering response. Triggers are important, and every single trigger is either a fight or a flight. It's a push or a pull. Now, some people might say there's the freeze response as well. I look at that as just an allergy or an addiction as well. So that would still be an addicted response. Okay, so it's either an addiction, holding on to something non-ideal, or an allergic response towards something that is ideal. The goal is to trigger our body as much as possible through whatever it is that we want or don't want. Second thing, we're going to go into the tapping process. Now, I want you to think of tapping. Here's why. Because as you get the triggered spot, you're going to tap on the location of the trigger, which keeps the normal unconscious response from just being communicated subconsciously or unconsciously throughout your body. And as you're tapping, and then when you incorporate the breathing piece, it's crazy. It starts to work as if just like a light switch, like turn it off, turn it off. It becomes a choice instead of a reaction.